So this is my 2018 Toyota Corolla IM, and I've owned it for a little over a year at this point and have a little over 10,000 miles on the vehicle. So I figured I would do a 1-year ownership review. So sitting here in the driver's seat, I have plenty of leg room and I have a few inches of headroom. My driver's license says I'm 5'10". I think I'm a little closer to 6 feet these days. I got my driver's license when I was 16, and it wouldn't surprise me if I've grown an inch or two since then. But I have plenty of leg room, and I have a couple inches of headroom, even with my head up against the headrest. This is with the seat the whole way back and the seat the whole way down. And I have the back of the seat pretty vertical, I believe. Because I like sitting more straight up than leaning back while I'm driving. But overall, it's a pretty comfortable seating position, and I have plenty of room. So this is going to be what you see as the driver. Of course, the car's not started, so all the lights are on, but don't be alarmed. This car, I haven't started the motor yet. I just turned it on, so you can kind of see all the gauges and everything all lit up. So this is your steering wheel. You have your volume controls for your radio. You have a voice command button where you can tell the lady to do things, and then she'll ask you what you said, twice or 3 times before she finally understands you. Your phone controls. Over here you have some stuff to go through the menus, your trip thing. This is a lane departure warning button. You can turn that on and off. It doesn't work under 25 miles an hour. Down here's your cruise control thing. You press it in to set a mile per hour, and then down to actually set the cruise control to work. And then you can go up and down to increase or decrease your mile per hour. You can see that when you press that in, this green thing pops up there, and when I press it in again, that'll go away. Steering wheel's leather wrapped here. It's one of the only things in the car that's made out of leather, other than this interesting white leather stripe, which kind of splits up the interior a little bit, and I kind of like it. It's interesting. There's a lot of gloss black here, which, as most people will say, gloss black is awful because it'll scratch and look dirty and just not look that great. So I wish Toyota would have just stuck with a matte black plastic or something instead of this shiny black, because it's going to look gross. The inside of my car is not all that clean. I haven't cleaned it in a little bit, so you're going to have to forgive me there. Down here's your HVAC controls. You can turn on your fan here, switch your temperature. Over here's an AC button if you want to turn the AC on. Your defrost settings, change the air where the air is coming from if you want it to circulate or whatever. Right here you can turn the fan off. Down here's your gear selector. This car is equipped with the CVT transmission, which stands for continuously variable transmission. So you have your normal automatic gear selector, and then you have a fake manual mode for your fake automatic. This car does simulate an automatic. It does pretend to shift gears even though it is a CVT. So it's kind of interesting in that way. If you're just cruising around at normal speeds inside of a town, if you're going 25 or 35 and you're not accelerating super heavy or whatever, you can't really feel the transmission pretending to shift, and it's a lot smoother. But if you really get on it, if you're going up a highway on-ramp or something and you're trying to get up to highway speeds, you definitely feel the transmission pretending to shift. The CVT is interesting. It just takes a while to get used to, but now that I'm used to it, I don't really mind it. The only thing is that from a dead stop, it takes it a while to actually start to accelerate, just because of the way the transmission's set up and probably the traction control and all that as well. Plus the fact that this car only has 137 horsepower, so it's certainly not going to be fast. I did do a little 0 to 60 test incredibly unscientifically and everything, and I was going to put it in this video, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not now. Just because it's so shaky and everything, because I filmed it with my phone on my suction cup GPS mount thing, so it's not the best video. But I think it took something like 11 seconds to get up to 60 in the way that I was doing it, which was coming off of a hill and turning right like immediately. So it accelerated fast enough for a commuter car as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not really all that concerned about how fast it accelerates and everything. It's just fine for getting on the highway. It's just fine for maintaining highway speeds and passing people. It's not really an issue. Now, this car is available with a 6-speed manual, and those of you who like manual transmissions or want to be able to accelerate faster or have a little bit sportier feeling car, I would definitely suggest the 6-speed manual. I haven't driven it because I'm not that great at driving manual transmissions. That's why I got the CVT instead of the manual. Um, but yeah, so now that we're done talking about that, it's got a manual a manual parking brake, also known as a handbrake, by teenage boys, hooligans. But it's got a mechanical parking brake, which I like. A lot of the newer cars are going towards an electronic parking brake, which I don't like as much, because with this, if I start to understeer in the snow and I'm going around a corner, I can quick grab this and it'll slide the rear end of the car around, and I'll be able to get around that corner easier without understeering into a fence or guardrail. Down here you have a sport button that I think it basically just gives you more throttle response for less throttle. At least that's what it seems to do in my experience. Your traction control off button, although the traction control only stays off for as long as the car wants you to have it off, which isn't very long, so the car's pretty much like, no, you can't have any fun. Since this is the CVT, you're not going to do burnouts or anything anyway, so I'm not really all that concerned about it. You have 2 cup holders, as you can see here. I fit this fairly large coffee tumbler thing, I guess. I think they're called a tumbler, in the cup holders without much of an issue. Here in the middle you have some storage. There's stuff in there because I use my car. Then you have a littler storage compartment on top of that. You fit smaller items in. Your glove box is a fairly substantial size. It's not as big as the glove box was in my Pontiac Sunfire, but that was a gigantic glove box. You don't need a glove box that big. So yeah, this is your screen here. Right now I'm on the radio. You can see, your radio stations. You can save a whole bunch of radio stations. So you can save like 18 radio stations. Over here to display what song's currently playing, what station you're on. You got your phone battery level, your phone service. You can switch it to like Bluetooth or something. And then over here you have like quick controls to go to different things in the menus here. Over here's your window controls. Your driver's side is an auto one, which means you just press it down and it goes down the whole way, or you pull it up and it goes up the whole way. So that's kind of cool. Your lock and unlock buttons, you can lock the windows so they don't go up or down, if you have kids in the back seat. You have your mirror adjustment controls, and then you can fold the mirrors in, which is kind of cool. I guess you need to have the car on to do that. That makes sense. But wait until it's done beeping at me. But you can fold the mirrors in electronically, which is kind of cool, and then fold them back out. It is super loud. The electronic motors are super loud. And you can see my MPG there. Right now I'm getting an average of 31.7 MPG for, how long have I been driving? At 122 miles of driving. And that's, highway and stop and go through my neighborhood and everything. This car is advertised with a combined MPG of, I think it's 31 MPG. So that's pretty accurate. So yeah, if you're doing a lot more highway driving, you can obviously get a lot better MPG. When I'm driving on Route 30, like I drove to Hanover a couple times on Route 30, I have found that I pretty easily get 40 MPG going like 55 or 60 on a highway for long periods of time. So that's cool. You know, if you drive on the highway more, you'll get better MPG, and obviously if you drive in the city, you'll get a lot less MPG. You know, it's just how it works. And here in the back seat of the car, I have a lot less room than I do in the front. I have a good 2 inches or so of headroom. You need to watch your head on this door overhang here when you get in and out of the car. But other than that, I have plenty of headroom. My legs, well, I could use more leg room, but it's a compact car, so you don't really expect to have all the room in the world in the back here. I did go into the passenger side seat of the car in the back just because my side has stuff on the floor, and I think there's a little less room leg-wise on the behind the driver's side seat, just because my seat's so far back and it is the whole way down. Whereas I think the passenger side seat is a little bit further up and it's maybe a little bit further forward. I'm not exactly sure. So once you're in the back seat here, you'll notice there's really not a whole lot back here for you. You'll notice in the door you have a water bottle holder and of course a window switch to make the window go up and down. And your door handle is like a brushed steel type finish. It's probably plastic covered in some sort of wrap. Of course right here again the water bottle holder. Here in the center you have what looks like a thing to hold, I don't know, change or maybe like keys or something, I don't know, you know, just to hold something small. And then here in the center you have a armrest and cup holder, and it holds 2 cups here in the center. Of course that only works if you don't have 3 people back here, which I'm not sure why you would ever have 3 people back here, because that would be pretty uncomfortable. But there are 3 seat belts, and I think technically this car is for seating 5 people. So yeah, I wouldn't imagine it'd be very comfortable unless you were all fairly small people or perhaps children. Of course you can see up there, up to the front seats and the screen and everything, and you can see out the front window. I think you sit up a little higher in the back seat here. At least it seems like it. So to open the trunk, you have a electronic button to release the trunk instead of a traditional trunk latch. So once the trunk's open, you do have a fair amount of space back here, you know, to fit normal items like grocery items and, you know, stuff like that. Of course you can fold the rear seats down to create more space, and you can take off this security cover here to give yourself more vertical space to fit larger items in the car. You have the security cover here. I think it's made out of fiberglass or something similar to that. It just hides what you have in the trunk from, you know, anybody who might want to steal your stuff. I don't have a whole lot back here. I have some jumper cables, some car cleaning stuff, a shovel because it was snowing, and window washer fluid. There's a singular light back here, so you can kind of see what's in the trunk. There's not one on that side. On that side you have a tie down. There's another tie down on the left side as well, and then you have 2 tie downs here, and then you have the baby seat mounting points on the back of the rear seat, of course. If you need to get something larger in here, the security cover is fairly easy to take off. You just remove these straps off these little like knob things on the trunk latch or whatever, and then pop it out of the little things there. And then there's actually a way to like put it down here. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Let me see if I can do that. Probably not on camera. I probably need both hands for that. But anyway, so once you have the security cover off, you have a lot more space vertically. So to fold down the seat here, it's real easy. You just There's a latch right there that you push and the seat folds. It'll fold the whole way down if your front seat's not the whole way back like mine is. Once again, if you don't have the seat the whole way back, the seat will fold down, pretty flat anyway, not totally flat, but fairly flat. There are a couple little things about this car that are kind of annoying, like the cup holders here. They don't have any kind of padding or anything in them, so if I have like a can in there, like an energy drink or like a soda or something can, it'll vibrate and make this like annoying metallic vibrating noise. I think at some point I might just cut out some like felt or something to put in the bottom of the cup holders to help stop that annoying noise when you're driving. Like I said, the gloss plastic is annoying, and as previously stated in a video a while ago, I do wish this car had a CD player, but it doesn't, and I've adapted to that for the most part. And again, another thing that is, kind of slightly annoying, this car doesn't have a sunroof. It's just something you get kind of used to. Here's your interior light controls, and you have a place to put sunglasses, which I don't own any sunglasses, so that doesn't matter to me. But anyway, the only thing that I really do not like about this car is a stupid key. Toyota, what the hell, man? What's up with the switchblade key crap? I thought this ended in like 2005. Why is this still a thing? I don't want a push button start, and I don't want a stupid switchblade key. It's dumb. The key fob is large, and since this button is so exposed, it always deploys the key in my pocket, and it's annoying. If you're gonna do a key fob, just do like a key fob by itself and a separate key, or do what Subaru does, where they have like a standard key and they just have the buttons on the plastic part of the key. That would make a lot more sense to me. So yeah, this is the only thing I really do not like about this car. Like, absolutely hate it, is this stupid key. And I guess since it's just a key or whatever, I'll live with it. But it is just really annoying.